Okay, so this is you right here, right? This is the hard gainer. You are the hard gainer. And these are the 5 pillars you need to focus on, which are understanding your body type, training principles, nutrition and diet, recovery and lifestyle, and strategic supplementation, which should be your last focus, the supplements. That comes later. When you build your strong foundation and base, that's when you focus on supplements. So, the definition and traits of a hard gainer. We got struggles to gain mass despite aggressive training diet. Often ectomorph soma type, high fast metabolism, longer, leaner limbs, narrow shoulders/hips, may have higher inflammatory response to training, muscle growth is slower. So, to put that in simple terms, you have a fast metabolism. That's how you were born. These are your genes. This is your DNA. Whether it's good or bad depends on the perspective. You could have been born fat, but you were born skinny. So if you were to ask me, maybe I'm biased, maybe I'm not, but skinnier men have higher testosterone. And it's been scientifically shown. They've done studies on this. So the more fat you have, the more estrogen dominant you are. So I prefer to be skinny. So often ectomorph soma type. So ectomorph means like me. I am 6'3" and I am lanky. This is an ectomorph, when you're skinny tall basically. High fat metabolism, we talked about this. So basically you're shitting triple, quadruple the amount of times that regular or fat people are shitting. May have higher inflammatory response to training, means basically you probably are more prone to having DOMS, which is delayed onset muscle soreness. Every time I do a training, I'm probably going to be sore for about 2 to 3 days, sometimes even a week if it's legs. And then we have slow responder. Well, you wouldn't be a hard gainer if you started lifting today and in 2-3 months from now you are Arnold Schwarzenegger. So this is a whole adventure you got to go through. It's a whole mission you got to accomplish. So since we're slower responders to muscle growth, that's the reason we have to keep going to the gym and show up even when we're not seeing massive results, because results come in small increments, right? You're not gonna get super big in 2-3 months. You are gonna see results if you're training correctly. At least my clients are, and me following my own program, I gained over 40 pounds of lean muscle and I still have it. It wasn't overnight. Common mistakes: eating too little, training incorrectly, doing too much volume, and doing low intensity, light weights, too many reps. So eating too little, I can attest to this because I'm a hard gainer. 2 videos before, I explained how I improved my appetites, not just mine, but also my clients' appetite by training fasted. If you're interested in that video, I'll have it somewhere here. Okay, it's gonna pop up. You can watch that full video, and I explain how to train fasted and why to train fasted. So, got that out the way. Now we got training incorrectly. I used to do this. I used to go to the gym, do just random workouts, biceps, triceps, shoulders. Stupid shit like that will hold you back. You will not see results, and then you will lose the motivation to go to the gym, to want to gain muscle. You will say, shit, I don't see no results. I feel like shit, and I'm still skinny. So you have to put in place a strong basic program. You can never go wrong with the basics, guys. The greats did them, so you should too. Who are you not to do them? You understand? Then we got doing too much. Another problem that I used to do myself. I used to do so many fucking reps on every fucking exercise because I wasn't putting enough weight to challenge myself. So I just kept going. I thought it was correct. Nobody was around to correct me. So now I have shoulder impingements because of this. So stop doing unnecessary reps. So now we're getting to the cheddar. Now we're going to program structure and consistency. And we got follow a structured program. Focus on compound exercises. Follow a structured program. This is what I tell people that ask me in my DMs, which, by the way, if you do have any fitness related questions, you can always DM me at Box and Muscle Official, and I will answer with voice notes, the best coach on the fucking market. So, how can you see results when you're not even consistent with one simple program of, let's say, push, pull, leg day? That's the most classical program, the most basic. Anybody can follow it, even a baby can follow it. If you're not consistent with a program, you will not reap its full benefits, because let's say you're doing it for 2-3 weeks, even 4, and you're like, I don't see so much results. I must change this program or it's not working. Well, dude, in 4 weeks, like we said before, you will not see the biggest results. Muscle comes in increments. Muscle is not like fat. Muscle is harder to build. Once you build that foundation, it will stick with you forever. Then you got muscle memory. So stick to a basic program. And I recommend the push-pull leg day. But my push-pull leg day is HIIT style push-pull leg day with supersets and drop sets. Focus on compound exercises. I've made my 2 previous videos. I've said this over and over and over, but I will keep saying it. Your body needs to get pushed. It needs to pump. It needs to feel like it's in imminent danger. You need to fry it in order for it to become strong. So compound lifts, if you do not know what they are basically lifts that work multiple muscle groups at once. A bicep curl, for example, will be an isolated exercise, not a compound. A compound lift would be an overhead press, pulling motion, pull-ups, deadlifts, squats, dips. These are the main compound lifts. Focus on these in each of your workouts. Like we said, we are hard gainers. We do not want to focus on doing too many reps. Your body's already skinny. You probably already have a good amount of endurance as a skinny guy, because your metabolism is faster. So your endurance is way better, let's say, compared to a fat person. So you need to lift heavy. That's what intensity basically means. Training heavier. In the rep ranges of 5 to 15, that should be your main priority. Now 15, in my opinion, is too much. I would go as far as to say 12 reps should be your max. So you should pick weights. You can only go up to 12 reps in a specified exercise. Full body routines. As a beginner, this is amazing. Yes, I mentioned push-pull leg day, but a full body routine is more realistic, especially if you're a busy person. I mean, in today's world, who got time to do bro splits and blah, blah, blah? There's a lot of people that their schedule is not fit to be like a bodybuilder schedule. So focus on doing 2 to 3 full body workout days. I recommend 2 to begin with. That's more than enough. If you're training correctly, you're gonna be sore, and 3, I think, will be too much for you. Now, don't switch your program every month. Like we said, we want to keep a basic foundational workout program for the first 8 to 12 weeks minimum, okay? But if you're getting bored of the rep ranges, say you're doing 12 reps for everything, now you can switch the reps. Do a little bit heavier and go 6 reps, go 8 reps, go 10 reps. Make it fun for yourself, challenge yourself. But don't switch the program. Play around with the reps and the weight. And like I said before, twice a week full body for a newbie, for a hard gainer, is amazing. And it's the perfect sweet spot so you don't overtrain your body. Yes, overtraining is real. Forget the fitness gurus that say overtraining is a myth. It's complete BS, because there have been plentiful of bodybuilders that came out and have also said, yes, overtraining exists, burnout exists. Your central nervous system can only handle so much, and especially when you're pushing it to its limits. 2 to maximum 3 times a week, but I suggest you do 2 workout days until your body gets accustomed, stronger, and then you can add 3 and then 4. Now we got progressive overload, which is the key driver to gain muscle. Consistently challenging your body to adapt, which is what I said before. Lift heavy, but lift with good form and technique. Increase the weights, like I said before. Track your progress so you know what's happening with your body. Are you getting better? Are you staying stagnant? Are you getting worse? How do you feel pre-workout? How do you feel during your workout? How do you feel post-workout? Which workouts make you feel better? And like I said, increase your weights and decrease the reps as you go. 5 reps being the minimum and 12 being the maximum. Have fun with it, guys. You don't gotta kill yourself. Have fun with it. That's the only way you're gonna enjoy the journey. Don't be too serious, dude. Come on, man. Now we got intensity and effort. Lift heavy weights, 80 to 85% of your 1 rep max. Always challenge yourself. And if you're scared to be by yourself, do make sure you have a workout buddy present. Or you can ask someone in the gym to help spot you. Your rep ranges should be 6 to 12 like I told you before. Train close to failure, like I mentioned before. Avoid training to failure too often. Risk of burnout and injury. That's why I said do full body twice a week to begin with. You will still see results, I guarantee you. And if you don't trust me, you can DM me at Boxing Muscle Official. I answer with voice notes, so you don't have to worry about your fitness journey. Rest longer between your sets. Typically, people rest 1 minute to 1.5. If you're going hard in the paint, 2 to 3 minutes is perfect for resting. Technique and exercise selection. Prioritize compound lifts, squats, deadlifts, bench presses, rows, overhead presses, okay? Use broad spectrum of loads, no diddy. So like we said, you can test, start with 5 reps, start with 6 reps, start with 7. Do as you feel. There's no one way to do anything. You can try different modalities for yourself. Test the waters. Focus on your form. Like I said, technique and form and full range of motion, very, very important. Very important. You have the internet in your hands. You got ChatGPT, you got Gemini, Perplexity. You have 1,000 things. If you want to check your form, you can just Google, how do I do this form? You'll see videos, how to do the proper form. Keep your scapula retracted, shoulders back and down. For bench, for many of these exercises, you will need to have a neutral spine. That's that. If you're getting stuck, try exercise variation. So let's say you can't do body weight dips, correct? You cannot do the dips. It's tough for you, even if it's body weight. Usually, in 2025, in almost every gym, I would assume, they have the assisted dip machine, which is this little pad thing. You put a specific weight, you put your knees on it, no diddy, and it helps you go full down, you do the full stretch of the dip, and it helps push you up according to which weight you choose. Okay, so you go down and it helps you push up. So that will be an exercise variation. Another example of exercise variation will be a pull-up. A lot of people can't do pull-ups to begin with. If you cannot do a vertical pull-up, what you can do again, you can do the Australian pull-up. You can go to a Smith machine, you set the bar to chest height, and then you do Australian pull-ups. So if you do not know what the Australian pull-ups are, you can Google it, you can check it out. So this would be an example of exercise variation. Then we have limit your cardio. You want to gain muscle, cardio can come later. You can do hybrid training later. We want to focus on lifting that fucking iron and ripping those muscle fibers and resting as good as we can. Bread and butter, advanced techniques to break your plateaus if and when you eventually reach them. We got the drop sets, supersets. I talk about these two in my previous video. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. We have attenuated eccentric loading, which basically means you have a weight and you bang, right? Then we have lengthened partials, which, for example, would be how prisoners do push-ups. They don't go full ROM. I mean, they might start with full ROM, and then when it gets too tough and too hard to go full ROM, you go halfway and you make baby push-ups. Okay, that's an example of lengthened partials. Or for example, if you're doing chest flies, right, with a weight that you can control, once you cannot close fully your chest, you'll be here at the beginning of the movement and you're just gonna squeeze the chest and pump it. Dang, that's called a lengthened partial. Then we got blood flow restriction. Don't worry about that. Focus on these 4 modalities. Now we're getting to the boring part, caloric intake, okay? Must achieve a calorie surplus to gain muscle/weight. Aim for 300 to 700 calories above your maintenance. So how do you find your maintenance? Basically, there's a lot of maintenance calorie calculators online. You type in your height, your weight, and then it's gonna tell you approximately how many calories you need for maintenance, for losing weight, or even for gaining weight. Consume more calories than you burn, obviously. And we want to gain 0.5 to 1.5 pounds per week. That'll be the ideal weight gain per week. Now, if you don't get 0.5 pound or 1.5 pound of muscle every week, that does not mean that the program is not working or there's something wrong. It's just your own body type. Not everybody is built like you or me. How do we consume more calories? Like I said, train fasted. There's a lot of research on it. I've gained 40 pounds of lean muscle training fasted, so it obviously works and it's not a one-trick pony. It's been tested on my clients as well. Macronutrients, which is basically protein, carbohydrates, and fats. When we talk about these foods, we're not talking about packaged shit. Carbohydrates, we're not talking about white sugar. We're talking about real food that's coming either from the ground or from nature. That's it. That's how you're gonna gain muscle. When you don't eat empty calorie foods such as cereals, breads, etc., etc. Unless you make the bread yourself or you're making the cereals or you're actually making things with ingredients that you know and natural ingredients, then don't eat that shit. Now this chart here is not meant to be followed by everyone. This is a general chart. If you're asking me as a coach what has worked for many of my clients, it's higher protein and higher fat intake. That's what helped them gain muscle. Carbs are incorporated, but they're mainly incorporated pre-workout and sometimes post-workout, such as post-leg workout, because the legs are a hard muscle to train. You lose a lot of energy, so you can replenish with carbs on, let's say, super intense days, such as leg days. But I would basically go 40% protein, 40% fat, and 20% carbs. My opinion and what has worked for me and my clients. Diet strategies. Focus on eating real fucking food, which is what I just said before. Calorie dense food, rice, potatoes, nuts, avocado, nut butter, chicken, beef, fish. Focus on real fucking foods that, like I said, come from nature or the goddamn ground. Eat frequently. Now this is a little bit debatable. If you train fasted like I do, you can eat 2 to 3 meals and you will still gain muscle. But again, it depends on what kind of food you're putting in your fucking jargon. You can drink your calories. I myself make a shake, and that shake includes of a few things such as bee pollen, whey protein, banana, sometimes peanut butter, sometimes walnuts, and etc., etc. So you can play around with your shakes. Don't be boring. I recommend you making your own shakes and not buying the pre-made weight gainers, because all that shit is a lot of preservatives and you will have other issues with your gut and brain fog later on. Choose high-fat dairy/meat, like I said. Different types of meats out there. Turkey, chicken, fish, beef, lamb. Too many options. If you're smart, you'll figure it out. And if you're not, use ChatGPT, baby. And we got, like I said, time carb intake. So pre and post on some of your workouts. Now, if you're feeling exhausted, shit, eat some carbs, but eat clean carbs. What are clean carbs? Fruits and honey. When I talk about honey, I'm not talking about that syrupy glucose, fructose, motherfucking syrup shit. I'm talking about raw honey. You can Google raw honey near me or farm near me, and you will find somebody that has real authentic raw honey. Those two should be your main sources of carbs. I don't recommend rice as much or potatoes. I recommend fruits and raw honey. But potatoes are better than rice. Pick your poison. Here we go, boys. Now we got even more boring shit, which is recovery and how you live your everyday life. Aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep. Why? Because sleep literally, as you can see there, right here, releases human growth hormone, which increases natural testosterone. And without testosterone, your body will not grow. Plain and simple. Then we have the rest days, okay? Rest is as important as training. If you're training 2 to 3 times hard a week, you're pushing that central nervous system, you will also need 2 to 3 times a week of rest. Now here, I put 1 to 2, but 2 to 3 is most beneficial. Active recovery. You can do some stretching. You can do yoga if you're into that. No diddy. You can do foam rolling, and you can do low intensity cardio, which would be like a walk or a fast walk. I recommend walking for everyone. It's one of the best things you could do, not just for your health, but also for your mind. Then we have the typical stress management. Just because you're trying to gain muscle don't mean you cannot learn how to meditate, how to do breath work. Very important, because the breath is the first thing you take when you come to this world, and it's the last thing that you do before you leave this world. So breathing correctly will not only teach you how to meditate and self-reflect, but it's also going to help you when you are training. Hydration, crucial for protein synthesis and recovery. And when you drink water, make sure you add some unrefined Celtic salt, which is a natural source of sodium, aka electrolytes, which power your heart and help the electricity run through your body. Now to the fun part. Out of this list of supplements, I'm only recommending 4. Creatine monohydrate for sure will help you gain strength, which in return will help you gain muscle. Protein shake, like it says, convenient. You can drink it any time of the day. You can drink it after your food, which helps you add more calories in. Then we have caffeine, which is a good pre-workout. And then we got amino acids, which your muscles are made from amino acids. Literally every amino acid is like a worker doing different jobs in your body. The main amino acid for your muscles will be leucine, which you can find in a typical BCAA supplement. EAAs are essential amino acids, which are basically the amino acids that you need to intake from food. Your body does not create them naturally like BCAAs. So EAAs are good for everyone. So I hope you guys enjoyed that little course. I hope that it did something for you. If you have any other questions, concerns, you can always DM me on my Instagram at Boxing Muscle Official. I answer with voice notes. The best coach on the fucking market. And let's get those gains, baby.